If you speak to about 100 people in business, about 90% of those will tell you that things are not easy, if not all of them. Now, to experts, there's certain elements, certain practices and business behaviors that any operator should embrace at this point in time in order to stay afloat.
I think as a comment on what's happening around, I think there's a lot of need for compliance to keep proper books of accounts as a businessman. What do books of accounts do? Books of accounts help you, one, know how your business is doing realistically. How much is your revenue? How much are your costs? What are you taking home? Such that before you come and draw what you have not made, you think through it. Two, if you have proper books of accounts, you will walk into the bank, because for us, our part is to ensure that we give you money, we lend. But we want to lend to somebody who knows their business, who we can share that initiative to say, this is where we are going, this is how we have done, and this is how I hope to pay back the customer's money. So it is important that you keep those books of accounts with a view that you will get strategic partners like the bank to come and work with you and support you. Subsequently, it's a win-win solution. Of course, there are taxes and all the other things, but let me say this. Where we are going, for you to be able to survive and do real business, one of the key business people you're going to work with is government. You have to comply with the tax side of things. And it's becoming important that if you're going to do business with big players, they will need to also comply, and you also need to be compliant. So what am I trying to urge our friends or ourselves in business? To try and ensure that we know what's happening in our business, we can properly account for it and defend our position, such that we get to understand how we maneuver or juggle the current economic times.
Again, in this segment, we're exploring the role of insurance in mitigating the risks for a number of businesses. And then also, we're looking at the journey that the industry has tracked in providing that service to the business community in Uganda.
A number of other insurance policies today exist, and these include fire, burglary, motor vehicle insurance, health, and life assurance. All these policies serve varying purposes. While some are purely risk covers, others go beyond that and touch the savings space.
For life insurance, way back when I was saving, when I had that policy, I was paying 100,000 per month. 100,000 per month per child. I was paying for 2 children, the young ones. I was paying 100,000 per month. And I had signed up for 12 years for each one of them. And then that started way back in 2010. And when it matured, I was paid the money. I am still alive. Some people insure because they may get, death is actually normal. Anyone can die. So if you die before the 12 years, then you are sure that your child will continue with education. I was lucky that the 12 years passed, and I just had to get that money as a lump sum.
These policies can be purchased directly from an insurance company or through intermediaries. Better still today, one can also buy insurance through digital channels as more players embrace more innovative service deliverers platforms to ease access of the service. But there is also the option of buying a policy through your bank under the bank assurance arrangement. Of paramount importance, however, is the fact that whenever money is spent, it should ideally be in exchange for value, which begs the question: what value does one get in buying an insurance policy?
When I was in school, I used to hear people having medical insurance. I didn't really understand what it meant. But in 2010, I opted to join medical insurance, and I can tell you, I've never looked back. Me and my family have enjoyed medical insurance for that long period. My child you see over here was paid for by medical insurance. I'm an ordinary Ugandan. And I went to Kampala Hospital, had the best services, and everything was paid for. I left the hospital a happy mother with my normal child and went back home.
Uganda is ranked highly in entrepreneurship, but also in the mortality or death rate for businesses. While several factors are blamed for this, one cannot underrate the poor risk management by some businesses. Those with foresight have, however, embraced mitigating covers like insurance.
In 2018, my restaurant caught fire. By the time I reached the premises, everything had been reduced to ashes. But the good thing is that I had insured my business, I had insured my restaurant, and I straight away got in touch with my insurer, who responded by sending their team to come and do a verification. They came, looked around, they did their investigation, and after about a week, the report was out, and I was recommended for compensation. The insurer compensated some very good amount of money, which I may not disclose, but which enabled me to really put up something new. I opened up another restaurant, of course in a different area, but within Seg2, and that was around at the beginning of 2019. Now, my restaurant has grown in that I've been able to even open up another business. I operate a bar around Zana, along NTV Road, and this bar came as a result of the growth of my business, my restaurant business. I want to call upon my fellow business people, my fellow Ugandans, to embrace insurance. Sometimes when you talk to somebody about insurance, say, you are just wasting money. Why should I put money? Why should I pay money that I know that will never, I will never benefit? But the fact is, you will never know that you will benefit, not until you get a problem.
Some vagaries that businesses are exposed to are man-made and premeditated, making it hard for businesses to mitigate against them on their own.
Way back, we were closed down due to COVID-19. We couldn't work anymore. Artists didn't have money since the economy was down. And since our studio was locked for quite a long time, certain individuals came and broke in forcefully, They put the door out, Some of our equipment was destroyed, some was taken. And, it was kind of a problem because we didn't know where to begin from. The economy had shut down. We didn't have capital to buy these things. We went to our insurer, and our insurer helped us refund everything we had lost. When the economy had to resume, we also resumed like other businesses. We are working. You may take up the same insurance policy. Go to any insurance company out there. They will take you into their insurance, different policies, and subscribe to this burglary insurance policy. For us, we are still running our business uninterrupted because we got a very good compensation.
There seems to be consensus that moving from one place to another, especially on the road, comes with its fair share of risk, looking at the number of accidents that happen every day. In Uganda, besides the mandatory third-party policy, there are more options such as the Motor Comprehensive Policy, which offers more benefits.
My name is Teddy Sanyu. I live in Namgongo. One afternoon, it was a Saturday afternoon, I was coming from the farm actually, as in my RAV4, that was my first car. And there's a steep slope. And when you're driving at the slope, you're at a high speed. So a big goat with huge horns from nowhere happened to cross the road. I thought quickly, I'm not going to stop because instant stopping meant hurting the people in the car. So what I did, I just hit it and had to stop ahead. Yeah. I decided to calm down and called my insurer, and they took me through the claims process, sent me a form, of course not at that time, but later on, sent me a form to fill, a claim form, explained what exactly happened, and within at least 1 week, My car was taken to the garage, of course, the garage of my own choice, and it was worked on and back on the road.
In today's dynamic and fairly challenging social and business environment, and indeed one where social strings seem to be breaking and can rarely be counted on for support in times of need, having an insurance policy is considered prudent thinking bordering on necessity.
The insurance industry really has supported and do continue to support the private sector, and the support manifests itself in many ways. One, and fundamentally so, is that insurance is there to protect people, their business, and in case of any loss, they are supposed to be reinstated to the positions they enjoyed prior to the loss or any destruction. Insurance has, over the years, provided that protection. Close to 600 billion, which is about 50% of the underwritten premiums, has been paid back to those people who have suffered losses. That means those businesses, if they didn't have insurance, they would never come back to life. I want also to tell the pessimist that insurance is inevitable for all of us, because just examine the economies which have managed to grow. Insurance is put as a first priority. For us who are growing, we decided to make it as a last priority or as a luxury. I want to confirm once again, insurance is not luxury, but a must-have.
It is therefore not surprising that today over 2.4 million people in corporate organizations have insurance covers. To the regulator, that and fact that the industry has seen a steady growth trajectory over the past 10 years, having expanded by over 15% in 2022, attests to the strong public belief in insurance. These are also fruits of sound supervision, regulation, and administration in affirmation of the Insurance Regulatory Authority's commitment to protect the interest of the insured.
Okay, with that, we've come to the end of this week's edition of Money and Market. Thank you for being part of the show. Now, for any questions, comments, or suggestions, we're here and we'll be ready to respond to those. So drop us a line on the addresses on your screen. Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, I've been your host, Charles Boji. Good evening and God bless.